Ladies and gentlemen, time to play the game that totally doesn't exist. Wink, wink. Quick preface. Um, I'm fighting off, it's not quite a full migraine, but it's like one step below a migraine right now. Probably pressure related. That's why I'm so late in starting. So FYI. I am going to try and stream as long as I can. If it gets too bad, I am going to stop streaming. If it gets better, we're good. So, the game that Nintendo disliked so much they tried to strike it from existence twice. This is actually kind of bonkers for several reasons, which I don't want to get into. Like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of the legality of this, because that's a whole other topic, and we've actually talked about this topic before when it comes to rights and protection and copyright and how that thing works, and how Japanese rights work differently than United States rights, and how there's a whole issue with that. And the bottom line here's the bottom line. There's I'd say like an 80% chance that if the legal system worked differently, Dr. M64 could have probably gone ahead and fought them over this takedown and won. Because the thing is, he's not infringing on their properties in any demonstrable or tangible way. And I forget the legal writing. And again, headache, so bear with me. He lives in neither, actually, Trihexia. But he, or lived, I should use past tense. I don't know where he lives now. Nowadays, he's working on other stuff. He's gone on to work on other, more officially games. So as most of the people who worked on this game. Go figure. I'm going to try to avoid specifics in the behind the scenes, out of a bit of respect for the whole situation. Plus, it's kind of hard to find a lot of hard details on the behind the scenes of the making of this game, because obvious. Anyways, yeah, he did do work on Ori 2, I know that. And I know he worked on something else, but point being, yeah, no, these assets, Dakota's correct, these assets were built from scratch. This music is all remixed. The game design itself is remixed. The code is new. The engine is functionally, it's completely own new engine. This is not infringing on Nintendo's rights and properties. This is a remix and remake that is being labeled as such and was not being sold for money. He had everything on his side legally. Now you're probably thinking, well, why didn't he fight it? Well, that's obvious, because legal battles are long and expensive. That's how that works. Actually going to court over this would have been a huge hassle for Dr. M64, and it would have been expensive. I guarantee you he would have won, with high certainty. But I don't blame him for not trying it, because I wouldn't either. I don't have that kind of time or patience, or, most importantly of all, money. So Nintendo, for stuff like this, just gets to say, you're getting shut down, and they say, okay, cool, and don't contest it. If he had won, this would have established a very powerful legal precedent for fan games in general. There's lots and lots and lots of fan games. Indeed, the whole reason this is called another Metroid 2 remake is because it was not the only one in development at the time. Just for Metroid 2, just for the one game. But yeah, this would have established an interesting legal precedent, which would have enabled some of these fan mixes to, at the very least, stay alive and awake and not have to be turned down for winning the best fan game of 2016 by Jeff Keighley, who was a coward and a shill. Anyways, so moving on. So we're gonna just get right into the game now. Some of you who've been around for a long time, I've actually streamed this game before briefly, back when it was released. Only briefly. There we go. Oh yeah, and the idea that this game would hurt the sales of Samus Returns is stupid on so many levels, I don't even know where to start. Even in a legal court, that wouldn't hold water. And you know how stupid legality is. But let's just know. Yesterday you won the guessing game. You then put it towards 2 games which are not on the list, which you can't do. So I need you to decide how you're going to divide that up, because you put it towards 1 game that was on the list, which I believe was Songs of Six. I think. One of these is on the list, the other 2 are not. Damn it, I gotta look this up. Okay, no, Songs of Six is not on the list. Was it Zero Ranger? Nope. There's Void Stranger. Void Stranger's on the list. That's the one. Still have no idea what it is, but that's okay. But then you wanted to put it toward 2 other games, which is, you know, sure, but you can't do that. So please pick. Do you want to add a new game, or do you want to put it towards Void Stranger and 2 other things? And thank you, Morganite. Very much appreciate your sub and your support. And if you want to put that towards up to 3 things, please let me know. But yeah, sorry. Distracted. Headache. The reason I mentioned the thing... Hang on a second. The reason I mentioned that is because this will become a blind playthrough at a certain point. Last time I streamed this, I got up to Area 3, and that's it. So, the only thing I have going for me is my memory of playing Metroid 2 a few days ago. So we'll see how we do. You won, Pillars of Snow. Is she just ignoring me? Is that what this is going on? She's ignoring me. I know it. I know it. That's okay. That's okay. I'll just move on. Just move on. Nice music already. Metroids. Numerous incidents in the past have brought to light the highly destructive power of these life forms, spreading fear across all known planetary systems. Hoping to secure peace in the galaxy, the Galactic Federation orders the extermination of the Metroid species. I was the best candidate for the job. Yeah, after we sent a bunch of other people who died. Once again, I find myself standing alone against the Metroid menace. What horrors await me within the depths of their homeworld? I mean, this came out after Prime 3, so that makes sense, King Man. Well then, goddammit, Pillars of Snow. Guess 3 things, please. You put in a... Well, whoever did it won, Pillars of Snow. Congrats. I'm gonna say it's your pick, Pillars of Snow, because I don't feel like dealing with it. So apparently there's only 1 Metroid in the area. Nice. So I like the HUD immediately. Nice, crisp, clean. No caffeine. Guild Wars 1, Killzone Trilogy, and Winx Club Streamination. You got it. For being part of the show, Trimax, yeah. So let's jot some stuff down here. F-16, F-14. Well, they were built from scratch, so yeah. They've also got a little bit of blinking thing going on, which I actually rather enjoy. I believe these were based off of the GBAs, but again, based off of. These are not actually the GBA sprites. Also, notice how little space Samus takes up compared to everything else. Yeah, making use of higher resolution, exactly. I mean, this is a PC game, so that makes sense. So let's just knock down some stuff immediately. And several rather talented artists donated time and effort into this one, so that makes sense as well. Okay. Was it Pillow Willow? Oh my god, it was Pillow Willow. Great. Look, you both start with pill, okay? That doesn't bode well for my ability to pay attention right now. That's just... Okay. Let's see how well I can play a Metroid game when I can't even read straight. Okay, so... let's talk about one of the first changes. If you're up against a ledge and you tap jump, you immediately climb up to the ledge, like this. Now, that's good. It helps with flow. Dread would use a similar, if better, system later, so that's awesome. The jump is very super, as opposed to the GBA one we just played. Yeah, so Pillow Willow, you guessed correctly yesterday. You then put it towards 2 games that are not actually on the list, which you can't do. So, if you have anything else you want to put those towards... I'm saying this wrong. If you want to add one of those games to the list, you can. If you want to put it towards 2 things that are already on the list, you can do that as well. Those are all options. I'm just curious. It looks like this is an unclimbable. This block up here. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay. Because it's not grabbing at all. It's not even trying. And you notice it's a different graphic, too. Oh yeah, we can crouch. We can aim diagonally. Hang on. We can aim... Oh my god, that's awful. Hang on. We can change our key bindings. Sounds nice. There we go. Woo! I mean, you could just add one of the games to the list if you want to for a little bit. You can only add 1 game. That's the critical point. You tried to add 2 games to the list. Yeah, we have a bit of precedence for rebinding controls, at least good rebinding controls being a positive, so that's probably going to be a positive, regardless of how I think of the controls and how tight they feel themselves. That's what I thought. Looks like it's straight up using Super's drop rate, aka drops nothing. Void Stranger's on the list. It's the only one that's on the list. The other 2 are the ones that are not on the list. And with controls. Hey, Ross. What do you think? Left or right? Left or right? Songs of 6. You got it. Songs of 6. That I can do. Yeah, did you notice there's some idle animations? This might be our first plus to story animation game so far. Probably one of the only ones. Yeah, not to go too much into it, but several people said at several points in the development of this game that the goal was to make it a merger of Zero Mission and Super, I believe was the exact thing. Let me double check that. I wrote down my notes here. read right now. Yep, Zero Mission and Super, I'm right. God, it is hard to read right now. Holy crap. Okay. Some parallax scrolling in the background. Nice cave effect going on. Like, I've seen better caves, but this is still pretty solid, right? This is good. Notice the water changes effect while we're in it. It's a nice little touch. Think about that for a second. Yeah, it takes one missile again. Sorry, Zero Mission vibes. Got some lava. Always gotta have lava. Very important. That leads us to this. Oh yeah, so did you know we have a logbook? The Alpha Metroid has gained immunity to cold temperatures. The loss of several nuclei within its green membrane has left it vulnerable to concussive weaponry. The plated exoskeleton partially covers it. The organism emerges from the molting of its larval form. Though aggressive, it is relatively weak at this stage, and its new appendages have yet to grow to their full length and strength. Yes, there's a bestiary. There's also a mission briefing. Little lore tidbits there. The research team. Hang on, let me actually read these in a second. Kill that. Get some missiles back. And now we know what the larva looks like. There's our first earthquake. Oh yeah, you notice in the upper right it says there are 0 Metroids in the area. That's actually a toggle. You can change that between how many are left in the area, how many are left total. Earthquakes. Jesus. Okay, so hang on. The massive cave system is located between two tectonic plates, largely flooded by an extremely dense and caustic substance similar to magma. Recent earthquake has altered the cave layout, and the hazardous substance has drained to lower levels. The cause of the earthquakes is unknown. Yes, it makes absolutely no sense that killing Metroids makes the earthquakes happen, but let's just ignore that. Initial orbital scan of SR-388 detecting no instability in this region. So, mission briefing. Kill all Metroids, locate and bring assistance to the Galactic Federation research and rescue teams. So they actually rescue the previous missions here. SR-388, a remote planet, absent on most galactic charts. Federation research indicates it is a natural homeworld of the Metroid species. Its outer crust is hollowed out with massive cave systems, which are home to an ecosystem that is yet to be fully studied. The first expedition to SR-388 revealed the existence of Chozo ruins. Earthquakes. The research team. For years, the Federation declared SR-388 unsafe to initiate new expeditions. However, after recent orbital scans failed to detect any Metroid presence on the planet's surface, the dispatch of a research vessel was finally approved. The crew's mission was to inspect the region where the species was first encountered and reaffirm none remained. Their next objectives were to explore the nearby Chozo ruins and study SR-388's other wildlife. Communication with the team was cut off, and only a distress signal managed to reach HQ. The search and rescue team is an elite combat group consisting of heavily armed soldiers. Their mission: locate and extract any surviving personnel from the missing research team. The group reported finding a specialized energy center at a campsite of the missing team. Its data confirmed the Federation's suspicions. Metroids still thrived within the planet. These findings were sent to the HQ to be analyzed while the group continued their search for survivors. Contact is soon lost with them as well. The data sent to the HQ revealed an approximate number of Metroids manning on SR-388 and was ultimately used to develop a scanning module for your power suit. This allows the detection of nearby energy readings unique to the species. That's a good question, Loke. It's because as long as they exist, they are a threat. Obviously, they can't really interstellarly travel by themselves, that we know of, but anybody else can show up and just be like, yoink! And indeed, that is exactly what the space pirates were planning to do, and would eventually do. And as we know, the space pirates are still active as of this point in time, and would not cease activities until Super. By the way, fun little anecdote if you think about it. The space pirates managed to survive all the calamities that befell them until Ridley stole the baby Metroid. That led to Samus, on her own initiative, going and wiping out the space pirates. I find that wildly amusing, personally. Anyways, the dominant species of SR-388, Metroids hunt for any form of energy found in natural or synthetic organisms, leaving behind deceased husks after feeding. They're highly resistant to conventional weapons and possess great adaptability in foreign environments. Estimates suggest a small number of Metroids set loose on a populated planet would lead to extinction of any present life forms. As such, they've drawn much attention from the space pirates, who've repeatedly tried to use them as biological weapons. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you exist on the Federation Council, or in the Federation military, at some point in your mind, you are probably going to think about, you know, do I trust everyone else in the room with me? Remember, an organization does not stand alone. Scans on native Metroids reveal the most common form in prior incidents are merely the larval stage. While there are records of extreme mutations triggered by space pirates using abnormal stimuli, the Metroid homeworld of SR-388 is seemingly the only environment where the species can naturally transform. Oh, I get your point exactly, Loke. I admittedly do not agree. First of all, these are beasts, not sentient creatures, so screw them. But second and more importantly, the danger is way, way too severe. This is planetary level threat. And the risk of other people misusing or abusing the Metroids is so high that it's already happened 4 times at this point historically. Well, no, that's not true. Sorry, I got my timeline screwed up. 3 times historically. The Chosen were an ancient and mysterious avian race. Incredibly advanced, they colonized many worlds, spreading their message of peace throughout the universe. Interesting statue to demonstrate peace. There are historical records and legends of the Chozo visiting other races with whom they shared their knowledge and wisdom. These brief encounters led many primitive cultures to their present-day glory. Some say they helped consolidate the very foundations of the Galactic Federation. The fate of this race is unknown. Evidence suggests they slowly vanished from the cosmos over the course of centuries. All that remains on each planet they inhabited are the ruins of their once glorious civilization. Not much is known about SR-388's ecosystem. Prior reports describe the fauna as being very hostile. Nearly all observed animals have been carnivores, with even the smallest species showing dangerous traits. The harsh environment and presence of so many predators may have forced an evolutionary arms race, perpetuating a cycle of violence. Extreme caution is advised. Thoughts here. Alright, speaking of which, yep. So there's our map. I don't know if it's quite as good as Zero Missions, but it's definitely a good map, and it's a good mini-map, too. I don't know what you're talking about, Ect. Guys, I think Ect is seeing things. Yeah, must have been the wind. idea. Does anybody know? Does this game have CRT shaders? Like, I don't remember seeing any real graphics options at all. Let's check. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, music's pretty solid. I actually have it turned way down because it's really loud by default. I mean, it's ideally I would rather not wipe out any species. You know, I mean, duh, Luke. Except hornets. But I guess my point is I agree with you completely. It's just I think in this exact case this is something worth just debating, you know. Because yeah, this animal life is a, again, I want to re-stress this, a planetary level threat. Yeah, so I should mention, not that I would know anything about this, but there is if you go to the AM2R subreddit, you will find that they have a launcher which they've launched, which allows you to, which functions for several things, but most importantly, for our purposes, it gives a tool for adding mods to the game, of which there are several. And obviously there's a bunch of tools like, you know, make this look like a Game Boy game. I'm sure there's some CRT shader thing. Hang on, let's see something real quick. Yeah, that's pretty much straight up super, which I'm okay with. Still getting used to the jump. Sort of a wild jump. Hi, Evo. More Metroids detected in the area. Yep, time to genocide. To use a comparison log, I don't think this is Unity, actually. But not suicide, because that would just be unkosher. So immediate change in vibe and music there, now that we're off the surface. Now we're in the ruins. The Metroids are also kind of an interesting circumstance because they didn't exactly ask to be this, did they? They were built to be a weapon, no less. I'm not saying that's their fault, it's just, it is an anecdote on top of everything else. Apparently. This temple stands at the base of a hollow mountain. The statues, carved stones, and its solid design attest that the structure was built to be a sanctuary, possibly with religious significance. The temple has withstood the test of time, showing the building knowledge and experience of the Chozo. Scans detect the presence of stationary robotic entities placed at strategic points inside the structure. No control signals are detected. These units are operating autonomously. Don't worry, we'll talk about the X next, I think. Could someone type exclamation mark next really quick, please? Yeah, nope, I'm wrong. Next, we'll talk about the X-Parasites. Bit of info in game. I do like a little bit of info in game. I got a better question, Evo. What do you think of the visual? Oh yeah, you can skip those in this version. Yes, this is all in-game music. So, let's go ahead and chat this guy. This might be a triple on visual distinction. In fact, the first time we ever talked about visual distinction on this show was while we were playing this game. No joke. When we streamed it back in 8 years ago, whatever it was at this point. One second, the cable's being weird. Discontinue weird. It's been a minute, Pillowell. Thank you, Dragon Player. Look, I'll take over the world soon, I swear. Working on it. So we'll go ahead and get this down for Snufkin, which I think is on the list. Someone double check, is Snufkin on the list? Pathfinder, Roth, the Righteous, Lotor 2. And as you probably saw in the next command earlier, Dragon Player, WoW is not that far off. Maybe a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. It is on the list. Anyway, so yeah, visual distinction. Boom. There's the thing. In this case, we're primarily using colors to indicate. But there's also just natural design of like how a map flows, which can indicate what you want to interact with and where. This kind of thing is frankly critical to a Metroid game in general, so it's good that they're bothering. This is a bit obvious, but like the earlier thing was a good example of that. I think you're right. I think the jump is faster because I'm still having time getting used to it. Yeah, no, visual distinction, this is probably going to be a triple. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I mean, you remember what Metroid 2 looked like, right? Okay, so there is a way for me to check that, Dragon Player. The only way to do that is to pause the stream. So hit the stream brakes. Let's see, so this is about the 4th. Ow! But if you, let me put it this way, if you didn't hit the button that shows up that you hit just now to indicate that you subbed, then I didn't get it. I'll say that very simply. I will have nothing that indicates it's there. Because that's what I rely on. Because Twitch is stupid. Hang on, you mean the 22nd of March, right? So it'll be right here. There's January, there's February. There's Snufkin being added to the list, March 9th. And that's it. So, no, is the answer. The last one I have from you was March 9th. That's all I got. I'm going to take you on your word, Dragon Player, because I don't see it. Like I said, if you didn't hit the button, it's not there. So I'm going to trust you and assume that that sub does exist. So if you want to put that... So first of all, thank you for the other sub. If you want to put that towards something, please let me know. Same things. Okay. We just double it up. So Snufkin, Pathfinder, and KOTOR 2. You got it. And thank you, Act. But you didn't put it towards anything. So everyone, dogpile Act with donuts, please. $1 Act. It's the minimum amount that I count. I think I'm going to take a Dramamine now. Good lord. If it's for a previous month, it probably won't have. Like, I think there's a limit on how long that stays there. HB02, PMD block, Rain World. Game of Doom. Is this in the wrong place? Terrible Evo. Thank you, though. Okay. Uh-oh. There's a Metroid in the area. We have 4 Metroids in the area, actually. There's Spider Ball. That was fast. I do think swapping in and out of Spider Ball is a lot better than it was in 2, but of course it is. This is being played on a PS3 controller instead of a Game Boy. I do like how we're getting like more underground, but you can still see the surface. You know, you can still see the sky out there. Getting the true Metroid 2 experience in here. I don't think anybody actually likes watching presidential debates. So anyways, this is where I was. Let's go again. I mean, if it was an actual debate about actual issues, I might not mind, but that's not what presidential debates are for. Wall jumping feels near identical to Super. Not a complaint, by the way. The sprite work is nothing short of excellent, I would say. Oh, nice, Estimine. The brickwork is solid, I would say. Well, without actually looking at a sprite sheet, I'm not sure how excellent. Let's do this way. But, like, the stuff I'm crawling on right now, that's good bricks. The actual background, the stuff in the background, is okay. You know, it's the stuff that, I usually use Mega Man games as my standard for brickwork. But, mostly because we haven't reviewed FF6 yet, which is the other standard for brickwork. I'm not saying FF6 is the ceiling on brickwork, but... FF9's an interesting one, because so much of the brickwork in that game is paintings. It's literal paintings. We'll actually have to have a discussion about that, because FF7 and FF8 have the same problem. It still counts, I think, but again, that's why it's going to be a discussion. So we can go down left. That scroll's kind of weird. Oh, we can go down left. And... I think that means we've already killed that Metroid. Have I given games brickwork negatives? Yes! Devil May Cry 2 comes to mind immediately. Let's try over here. I'm pretty sure Secret of the Stars got one as well. Secret of the Stars has actually the worst brickwork ever, I want to say. Yeah, we never went up. Okay, we never went up. You have to work at it, but you can have brickwork negatives. Okay, so all of a sudden I don't have a pop-up when I get those. That's kind of weird. And I see these rooms have taken the place of the warehouse things from the first game. Sorry, from the original game. Okay, we're gonna let that go. I mean, we're in a Chozo ruin right now, so the aesthetics are Chozo ruiny. This is just straight up the warehouse. There you go. 13 negatives to Brickwork for Secret of the Stars, and by God, I stand by that. Devil May Cry 2 is terrible, but I think Secret of the Stars actually has the worst Brickwork I've ever seen. Like we may challenge that someday, because Lord knows that's what keeps happening, right? It's like we keep finding new levels to go down. At the moment, I believe that's actually the worst I've ever seen. Okay, those can still show up. That's good to know. Hey, you've run out of missiles, Beam. Good morning, Vandalia. I just realized I haven't answered Evil's question. I don't think I'm capable of doing that. It looks like ruins. What do you think, Evo? You're the professional artist. So it does. Oh well. Worth a shot. No, I don't act. Sony's never backpedaled in their life. I mean, not on anything big. I should clarify that. Sony is, unironically, one of the most anti-customer of the big three, and always has been. That's nothing new. Like the comment by that one PR rep, which I know was for the developer, not the Sony, but that's pretty much the attitude of Sony right there. Why is it red? Like, I've killed this guy, right? Okay. That's true, Darkrai. I'll give you that. They're requiring a PSN account to play a PC game is already kind of eyebrow-raising. And getting disturbingly common nowadays. But the thing is, because of how Sony operates, multiple countries in the world can't make a PSN account. Physically cannot. It was all worth it. Yeah, Sony's problem... So they get hacked all the time. And if I could be blunt for a second, that's on Sony. I understand that hacking crime is something that is actually pretty regular, and it's something that's dealt with all the time, and it's not the kind of thing you just dismiss out of hand. But whoever Sony's white hat division is needs to be freaking fired. Or, perhaps more accurately, they need to hire some white hats to actually deal with the crap they've been dealing with. Because their anti-hacking team is terrible, or doesn't exist. I'm not even sure which it is. I mean, I wouldn't even say that's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that's true, Dragon Player. That would be normal business. You know, that's actually a really good point, Darkrai. Their white hats might actually be problematic. It's a IA going on there. Oh yeah, as to me. No, you need to watch. For real, if you haven't watched the Secret of the Stars highlight reel, please do. It's probably overall the best highlight reel that Mr. Red has ever put out. Oh my god. Thank you, Random. I hope... And I don't know. I hope things get better for you soon. I know words don't mean anything, and I'm sorry I can't do anything better. What if I could? Stars and Times, and a Blade 3, and Mother 3. You got it. Okay, so I think we've covered this area as much as we can, but there's still... So I guess it's down left at this point. We still have 3 Metroids in the area we haven't touched. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that grass discussion, that was enlightening to me, and I've been paying attention to brickwork for years. Thank you, Brigwin. You're allowed to step away from a lore runner stream? What? Did anybody tell me about this? Cool. So we're getting a little bit away from the ruins now, getting a little bit of overgrowth. This area. This is where Javid insisted I was going the right way, and he was right. But he was also wrong, because I didn't have the spider ball at this point. This area spans a custom-built ecosystem that favors the growth of Metroids. The terrain itself is dangerous, tendrils growing up around the ground, which release extremely corrosive chemicals. Opportunistic predators and scavengers can recognize this as an ideal feeding ground, taking advantage of injured or dead animals. Presence of at least one Metroid is expected when venturing in these habitats. The tendrils are determined to be of artificial origin, synthesized through technologically advanced methods, that they absorb nutrients from dead matter. This room, because this is the room where Blue Elf Alex is yelling at me. Notice the low health beta leaps. or lack thereof. Save after that, because yeah. Yeah, they definitely changed the terrain on some of these battles. No, Logue. I mean, the developers for Helldivers 2, it's not their call, right? They don't get to decide that. That's how that works. That's why more and more companies are hesitant to take up publishers. And why Larian's success recently is so important. Oh, that community manager should probably have a talking to. I'm not going to say he should be fired. But, rule 1 of being a community manager. So you don't take it personally. So you're going to be dealing with toxic dreck day in, day out, every day. I saw something back there. Oh, okay. It's even more egg on my face. If you need a job, any job, community manager is a job. That's Area 2, or 1, or whatever we're in. I don't know how to keep track of this one, but yay! I know it's a new area because it's color different. I guess this would be technically Area 2 then. This sentry deploys spiked barriers and corners targets into its firing range. Its archaic design constrains it to operate at low power, preventing simultaneous use of its shield and its mobility systems. Its arsenal consists of energy weapons with unique patterns. The robot was calibrated to detect foreign creatures bearing stolen equipment. Recent earthquakes seem to have damaged the traction of the unit and spike barriers. Despite these complications, it remains a considerable threat. Short brief? Jesus Lord. Brief full window there. So far, yes, Vandalia. I'd like to take credit for that, but I got a little lucky there. Kept doing the beam attack, which is the easiest one to dodge by far. So let's go further into the depths, shall we? How were these creatures here before when there was lava here? Sorry. Something that's caustic and viscous that looks a lot like lava, but isn't. Fine. Would be cool, Darkrai. I was actually thinking that myself. If I was Nintendo, I would think a lot more carefully about how I approach these kind of fan games. Because they shouldn't always be rewarded for being fan games, but there should absolutely be special cases where it's like, oh, that's legit. Hey, you want a job? Or you want money? And then just buy the game wholesale off the person, and then distribute the sucker. AM2R coming out on the Switch. Yeah, exactly, Rex. I mean, we got Ori 2 out of it, so I can't complain. But, you know. Not that I want to paint Nintendo with the same brush as Bethesda, but I think there might be some pride stuff involved in there. The Japanese tend to get a little bit more weird when it comes to rights issues, legally, than most other countries do. God, it's Area 2. The worst area in the original game. Hydro Station. The massive facility at the center of this reservoir filters and pumps water through enormous pipelines. These pipes come out of the complex and disappear into the surrounding rocks, presumably to supply other buildings further down the cave system with clean water. Although abandoned, most of it remains functional. Robotic activity is detected inside. Apparently that was the Golden Temple for the previous area. Interesting take on that. Thank goodness I can crouch, huh? A lot of these rooms. I guess that goes back into the discussion of what actually makes a remake, which I might have to at some point just accept that I'm in the minority on that. Yeah, I haven't gotten an E-Tank at all yet. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I should have back in the temple. I know I did last time. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I think I did last time. Oh, there's our death animation. No Zero Suit. Where am I? It's a good question, Act. And truthfully, I don't have a good answer for you. Sometimes the next generation just is like, oh man, they were so wise and they knew everything they were talking about. I should do everything they were talking about. Playing these games in the order that makes the most sense to me. So we got the worst games out of the way first, which is Other M 1 and 2. Now we're playing the remakes of 1 and 2. So Zero Mission, AM2R, and Samus Returns. After that, we'll play Fusion, which is kind of the in-betweeny, kind of on its own game. And we'll play the biggies, Super and Dread. At least I found something this time. Unlike my last side trip, which found nothing. A bunch of items I couldn't get, a bunch of areas I couldn't reach. I said it last time, I'll say it again. Area 2 sucks. Worst part of the whole game. Good music. I disagree. agree with that. I'm sorry I'm so quiet. I am in so much pain. I can barely string a thought together right now. Yeah, this is Area 2 from the original. Not quite migraine status because I can still see out of both eyes. Anybody's having a real migraine, I'll tell you, the real migraines are a whole other thing. Whatever E-Tank I missed, I'm starting to really feel its absence, tell you what. And the Varia suit's in this area, too, which I will not be moving on until I find. I'm not going to do AM2R without the freaking Varia suit. I swear to God, if there's nothing up here, or worse, if there's one spot I'm supposed to bomb. Oh my God. Hey! Something. Oh, I doubt it, since we'll be playing, you know, without speedrunning Starcraft. Well, let's save here a little bit. Yes, charge attack functions like it does in Prime. Almost assuredly inspired by Prime. Probably one of the better inventions Prime added to the series overall, I would say. Hey, Mother Meerset. I am having a terrible day, but thank you for asking. Happy May 4th. It's a mimic. A territorial organism, its armored hide is very resilient and requires at least a high-voltage discharge to harm it. Attack with anything less will only agitate it. When enraged, it'll roll into a ball and attempt to ram its aggressor. Bombs might be able to propel it in this state. Its saliva has flammable properties, and its claw can vibrate at high frequencies to launch sonic waves. Scans detect it has acquired a Chozo relic, granting it unnatural vigor. Right in the face. Thank you, Vandalia, very much. Always appreciate. Yeah, we got the minefield attack from Super. I'll put that towards FF1 comparison block and Warcraft 1. If Vanilla WoW was remade with Warcraft in the Warcraft 3 campaign style, what quest line, including Dungeons and Ravens, would it make a cut? Obviously, Defias, right? Duh. You have to have the Defias Brotherhood arc. It's one of the big initial arcs of the game. I would also probably include the Demon arc, the one that most people don't even know exists. It's the only Horde arc in the entire game. It goes from Durotar. In fact, one of the first quests you ever have as an orc is dealing with the beginning of that chain. And then that goes to dealing with the Burning Blade. And it turns out the Burning Blade are just a subset of another faction and so forth and so on. And it was supposed to conclude in Felwood. However, there's no real quests to conclude it in Felwood. You just go there. And there's just kind of a demon lord who's just kind of the head of the whole demon faction for all those zones. And then you just kind of kill him. Yay. God. Demon faction for the orcs. The Defias for the Alliance. I would probably include the Black Dragonflight, because everything to do with Nefarian and Onyxia is obviously very relevant. Yeah, the Scarlet Crusade, obviously. And then the Plague Lands in its entirety. Because the Plague Lands kind of had its own chain. I mentioned Tyrian Forging the other day, but there's a whole chain going through the Plague Lands, both of them. And that's probably the full list right there. Metroids. The Chosen need to freaking weaponize this guy. God damn. Yeah, the Emerald Knight, the Emerald Knight was actually, and the Emerald Dream were both invented for vanilla, and as Lord Hermont says, never goes anywhere. I probably wouldn't include that if I was limited to a campaign in Warcraft 3. It's just too minor of a thing for vanilla. A mimic, Luke. It's like a truck, too. Do health. All that for frickin' Spring Ball. I was hoping for something a little more useful. Whatever. It makes sense, right? Right? I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, all I had to do was get hitless. My fault. Yeah, Spring Bowl is so you don't have to do this. Hey, Glitzy-chan. Welcome to the migraine hour. Save placement is not super great. That's pretty much my thoughts on that in a nutshell. Ah! I'm actually ready for that. I'm pretty low on health too. And we're just gonna do this. Let's get no bad of that. Yeah, it has this. Oh, the pseudo screw? I'm not sure if it has the pseudo screw. Easy way to text. I'm even lower on energy. Thanks, little Billy. God. You know, I remember there being health and ammo refills in the original game, and I just noticed I have yet to find a single one in the remake. Did they get rid of them? Yeah, Crazy Norse. Oh, they turned him into save points. That makes sense. You're right. God, I didn't even notice that was healing me. I mean, that makes sense, right, Gingaman? I looked at those save points like, damn, why weren't we using those this whole time? Jesus, come on, Laura. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to try and lie down. I'll see you guys at some point.